Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy, Sports and Fitness Rants? I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back, guys. Welcome back. Got another great video for you guys today. As usual, you guys know the deal on this channel, man. You guys know the deal on this channel, right? It's all about the facts on this channel, guys. We must continue to call these guys out, hold them to a standard. You guys know the deal, man. And in this video, we're going to speak about how the NBA players, the NBA itself, has been talking about taking games away, right? Maybe shortening the season to 65 games or something like that. You've heard NBA players complain about too many games in a regular season. We've heard the media members talk about the season needs to be shorter. Meanwhile, the NFL has added a game to its schedule in a way more physically demanding league, right? In a league where your average expectancy of your career is not that long. 4 or 5 seasons, depending on the position. If you're a running back, you might only last 3-4 years in the NFL, right? Linemen, defensive players, these guys, they don't last as long, right? It's a physical game. It takes a toll on your body, which is why they only play 1 game a week. That's how tough the sport is. But they added a game to their schedule. We're going to talk about that in this video, guys. These soft NBA players, right? And how the game is completely soft now. These guys have no heart, no love of the game. So they'll talk about shortening the season. And I'm going to thank you guys, everyone out there, man, everyone across the world, everyone across the states has been supporting my channel, guys. Truly, truly humbling. Truly humbled, guys. For real. Much respect to everybody out there. You guys leaving the comments, liking my videos, subscribing to my channel. It means a lot, man. Shout out to everybody in the membership, man. For real. I'm truly humbled, guys. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos are for educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, like I said, man, you guys know the deal, man. We must hold these NBA players to a standard because the NBA has gotten so soft, guys, right? It's gotten so soft over the last, 10 years or so. The NBA is unrecognizable for a lot of us, right? People don't want to watch it. It's not as popular now. Guys are flopping all over the place, so they had to come up with flopping guidelines and penalties for flopping because they do it so much now. They've had to come up with load managing guidelines because the NBA players, don't want to play. They don't want to show up to work. So they've had to put in guidelines to get these guys to show up to work. And yet and still, the NBA still allows certain players to be, quote unquote, grandfathered in so they can still load manage. Once again, not being held to a standard, the NBA being soft and being exposed now, which is why the popularity has gone down. Like I said, meanwhile, the NFL, who has always been a more popular league, right? The most popular sport in America, a couple of years back, they actually added a game to their schedule. So you guys remember, that was a big thing some years back, right? The NFL owners wanted to add a game to the schedule. We know it's all about the money for these people. However, the NFLPA, they signed off on this, and the NFL players got some incentives for these kinds of things. But we all know it's about the money. However, though, the NFL is a much more physical league, right? These guys are not flopping around. They're actually getting hit. So if we think about the NFL and the sport of football, and then we relate it to the sport of basketball, it's really no question which sport is more physical, which sport has higher risk of injuries or higher chance of injuries. It's usually football. I mean, hell, there have been players that have been paralyzed playing football, right? Severe injuries. Like I said, your career doesn't last as long in the NFL as it does in the NBA, right? Guys are playing 14, 15, 16, 17 seasons in the NBA. You don't play that long in the NFL. But the NFL added a game. Meanwhile, like I said, the NBA wants to remove games. The players themselves cry and moan about playing too many games. They don't want to play back-to-backs or 3 games in 4 nights. Whatever the case may be, they complain about the traveling. They complain about the schedule in general. They just complain because this is the NBA. The players in the NBA are soft-minded players, right? It's a problem in society right now, right? With a lot of these quote-unquote men are not really men. So what we have in the NBA is a lot of soft boys, not real men. You guys remember I did that video talking about the NBA and about, how different leagues or how different people were viewed when I was growing up. When I was growing up, the quote-unquote man sports was football, basketball, and baseball, because the players of these sports were considered to be quote-unquote macho or to be considered tough, manly. They weren't considered soft. These guys were tough. They were professional athletes, right? And I told you, who was the soft people, or who was, regarded as being soft? The soccer players, the tennis players. These were the athletes that were considered, or the sports that were considered to be soft, or golf, right? Those are the soft sports. I didn't play none of that nonsense. That was when I was growing up, guys. That's how it was. But now, all these years later, the soccer players are probably laughing at the NBA players about how much they flop around. Now we have guys like Nikola Jokic, Luka Doncic, right? Giannis pointing out how soft the NBA is compared to the European leagues. Meanwhile, when I was growing up, it was the complete opposite. The NBA was known for being a physical, tough league in America, and it was the European players that were known for floppers and being soft, which is why we dominated the Europeans for so many years. Even though we didn't have professional athletes going, we had kids going there. We were still beating them because it was our sport, number one, and we were known for being tough, for having heart and grit, all those aspects that we don't see anymore. So now you have the European players laughing at the NBA, the American basketball players as soft, right? Like I said, it wasn't the case. It was the soccer players who were soft. Now it's the NBA players who are known for flopping, not the soccer players. So you see, guys, the dynamics between two American sports, football and basketball, right? And both sports are supposed to be physical to a degree. However, we all understand that football is a much more violent sport. Yet, they added a game to their schedule, right, from 16 to 17 games. And the NBA, though, and the players in the NBA don't want to play the full 82 games. That's too much for them. It's not too much for the NFL players. They still play, right? They don't have to come up with guidelines in the NFL for these guys to show up to work. Why is that? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One reason being that their money is not guaranteed, like the NBA players. So once again, guys, it's all about the money and the fame for the NBA players. All they care about is the money, not the love of the game. They don't care about the fans, none of that stuff. They really don't even care about winning. As long as they get their stats and they get their money, their endorsements, right? They can do their commercials and things like that. They don't really care. Whereas in the NFL, you have to go out there and earn it. You can't lollygag on a football field. You'll get hurt, right? You can't half step or go half speed in an NFL game. You will get hurt. These guys are not flopping around, right? They're not load managing. They're trying to play every single game they can in the NFL, right? These guys go all week, right, trying to get back on the field on a Sunday if they're dealing with an injury or something like that. Whereas in the NBA, they literally do everything possible to not play as many games. They have a little nagging injury, they're out. These guys are out with pinky injuries, sprained ankles, sore feet, a sore wrist. These are the injuries, or the quote-unquote injuries, that NBA players over the last several years have been missing so many games due to. No legit injuries, just guys sitting out. You got guys taking mental breaks in the NBA. Mental breaks. A mental break? Do regular people in the real world get mental breaks? No, you got to show up to work. And if you don't get paid. Not in the NBA, though. These guys want to play less games, but get more money. Meanwhile, the NFL players had to actually play another game to get more money. They have to play more to get more. Not the NBA players. They want to get more for doing less. This is the mentality, guys, of NBA players now. This is why the game is not as popular as it used to be, right? Meanwhile, the Super Bowl just set a record for views in the Super Bowl's history. The NBA, the All-Star game, the finals, it's all a joke now because no one wants to watch this stuff. These guys don't have any heart, no grit, no toughness. They're flopping around and crying. They're getting fans ejected from the stands. How many NFL players have gotten fans ejected from the stands? You're telling me these NFL players don't hear things? You got fans in the stands throwing ice balls and snowballs at people. You guys remember that? Is anybody doing that at an NBA game? Are they throwing stuff on the stands? No, they're not. They're saying stuff and it gets these guys upset because once again, the NBA players expose themselves as being very sensitive. Not only are they not tough, right? They're soft men. They're also sensitive men, right? It's a different thing. Being soft and sensitive, right? Soft is your physical toughness. You're soft. And sensitive is your mental weakness. You can't take anything people saying things about you or any of that stuff. You can't even have people critique you. The media, anyone says anything negative about these guys, they cry. You got NBA players creating burner accounts to go back and forth with the fans because they're so sensitive. This is the NBA, guys. Once again, this is embarrassing. When you have NBA players who don't even want to play 82 games in a season. Meanwhile, they were playing 82 games in the 60s. They were playing 82 games in the 70s. Wearing Chuck Taylor Converse sneakers. No kind of advanced medical treatment. None of the advantages of these guys in this era. But they were able to play 82 games. They didn't cry about it. They didn't have first-class flights. Right? They had to play back-to-back games. They had to play back-to-back playoff games sometimes. 3 games in 4 nights. They were traveling on crummy buses. Back in the day. Hearing all kinds of racial things in the stands in the 60s. These guys were playing during a civil rights movement. But they're upset in this era when someone says something about their mama or something about their kids or says something racial in this era. We're worried about that, really? You're that sensitive. You ain't got no backbone. When I was growing up, guys, it was called sticks and stones may break my bones, but the words will never hurt me, man. Right? That's what they don't understand, a lot of these clowns. You get a lot of these people on YouTube, they make these comments on your videos. They really believe these words are going to hurt us? Once again, I'm from the old school, man, from the 80s and the 90s. I don't get worried or concerned or hurt by words. What I do is I set the record straight here, and we educate you fools, and we embarrass you guys, and we make you guys look stupid because you guys are stupid. Always crying and moaning and being sensitive in the comment section. But these comments don't do anything. These people really believe that comments hurt our feelings because it hurts their feelings, right? Comments would hurt their feelings. That's why these guys will never do videos, right? These people will never put themselves on camera. They hide behind a no picture, and they attack my videos. But I always tell them, let me know when you find your balls and you can put yourself on camera and explain to me. They won't do it, though, because these guys are cowards. They're sensitive. They're soft. They don't want to expose themselves on a camera so people could leave comments on their videos. They wouldn't be able to handle that, right? They're sensitive. Meanwhile, all I do is make videos about these things, right? We have the LeBron James fan club says weird things. We've made a whole series about people and their, comments that they like to make. Once again, they think that they're doing something. All they're doing is exposing themselves. So you guys know the deal, man. The NBA players have become a joke, soft, sensitive. Not all of them, but most of them have become a joke. We don't respect these guys, which is why fans feel like they can say whatever they want. When you don't respect people, then you say whatever you want to them, right? That's what's going on right now in the league. The players haven't earned the respect of the fans. They've lost the respect of the fans, a lot of these guys, with the way they carry themselves. Always crying and moaning, always being sensitive, flopping around. Like I said, not showing up. Someone saves their hard-earned money to watch you play, and you load manage on them. You're going to lose the respect of the fans that way. These guys don't play for the love of the game. The fans don't respect that. They want to see the effort day in and day out. Every single game. They don't want to hear you guys complain about how many games you're playing when you're making millions of dollars. You want more money for less work. NFL players that are going extra game to get more money. Their money's not guaranteed. They got to show up. So you guys know the deal, man. These NBA players need to take a look in the mirror, man, and they need to wake up and realize we're standing up to this nonsense, and we're not going to stand for this. The low managing, the flopping around, having fans ejected, being sensitive and soft. We won't stand for this, guys. And you guys know the deal, man. I'll catch you guys on the next one.